National, our voice in the world.
This is the English service of Radio Algeria International. It's time for the news.
Algeria has once again called for addressing the various crises leading to the forced displacement of populations, notably the persistence of conflicts and colonization in certain regions of the world. Scores of Palestinians have been killed and over 100 others wounded by Zionist attacks while waiting for aid in a roundabout in Gaza. And Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas has appointed economist Mohammed Mustafa as Prime Minister and charged him with forming a new government. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail from Radio Algeria International. Good afternoon. First, Algeria has once again expressed its concern at the increase in the number of people registered as coming under the Authority Office of the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, UNHCR, estimated at 63%, calling for addressing the various crises leading to the forced displacement of populations, notably the persistence of conflicts and colonization in certain regions of the world. Said Boughaz has more details.
This was emphasized during the Algerian delegation's speech at the 89th meeting of the Standing Committee of the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees in Geneva under the theme Regional Activities and Global Programs in the Middle East and North Africa region, delivered by Rachid Beledhan, head of Algeria's permanent mission to the UN office in Geneva and international organizations. Rachid Beledhan pointed out that the meeting was being held in a very complex humanitarian context characterized mainly by an unprecedented rise in the number of sources of tension and conflict around the world, resulting in a demand for aid to meet the needs of those affected, which the various aid agencies have been unable to meet due to a lack of resources and means over the years.
Regarding the situation of the Sahrawi refugees, Algeria hails the Commission's will to mobilize the necessary financial support in implementation of the plan set up last year by the United Nations in order to meet the needs of the 173,600 refugees in Tindouf camps, estimated at $214 million between 2024 and 2025. Algeria seized this opportunity to call on donors to contribute to implementing this plan for the benefit of the oldest case of refugees in Africa.
The diplomat reiterated Algeria's support for the UNHCR's action in favor of refugees and uprooted people, underlining that Algeria's participation in the Second World Forum on Refugees held last December is tangible proof of this resolute commitment.
There is no doubt that the region of the Middle East and North Africa is one of the most regions suffering from instability, as the massacres committed by the occupier against the Palestinian people in the Gaza Strip and the West Bank is the best example of that. The Algerian delegation takes this opportunity to denounce the systematic genocide perpetrated in Palestine and calls on the international community to pressurize with all its strength to bring the occupying force to abide by the international humanitarian law.
In addition, by assuming three commitments in the field of health, education, strengthening the legal framework while defending the rights of refugees during its term as a non-permanent member of the United Nations Security Council, Algeria once again reaffirms its determination to guarantee the necessary protection to this category. Faithful to its historic values based on living together, benevolence, and welcoming others, Algeria has been sheltering thousands of refugees for many years now and is committed to providing them with assistance and care in accordance with the principles of international law, he maintained.
The Chief of Staff of the National People's Army, Saeed Shingriha, or General Saeed Shingriha, has paid a work and inspection visit to the headquarters of the Land Forces Command, the Ministry of National Defense said in a statement. During his meeting with officers and personnel, the Army General gave an orientation speech which was followed by the personnel of the units of the 6th Military Region via video conference, in which they indicated that the multiplicity of threats and challenges facing our country require the National People's Army to maintain operational readiness at the highest levels and to constantly monitor developments in the security situation in the region. Let's listen to him.
The various threats and challenges that we must face require the People's National Army to preserve the highest level of combat practical preparedness and the continuous monitoring of the developments and security situation in the region and the preparation of forces with the required firmness of the multiplication of exercises at various levels for a better control of the weapons held by the Army and the adaptation of the performance of our employees with a huge development witnessed by the modern war techniques.
And from the Chief of Staff of the National People's Army, General Saeed Shingriha, we move on to the Middle East file, where the Zionist occupying forces fired for the umpteenth time on Palestinians who were